Back in 2023, the tech world was sold a prophecy that felt more like a death sentence for our careers. Leading researchers predicted that AI would replace up to about 80% of software developers by 2025. And we were told the future belonged to digital co-workers who never slept or produced bugs. Fast forward to where we are now in 2026, we ended 2024 with 152,000 tech employees laid off globally. And by early 2025, giants like Intel and Amazon cut another 30,000 roles to realign an AI-centric future. But here is the fascinating part of the story. Reuters recently reported that while nearly 97% of tech leaders integrated AI into their back-end, 2/3 of them saved zero headcount. Not a single human actually got replaced, and in many cases, the exact opposite is happening. The problem is that AI has a very short memory for complex system architectures, and the bill for that amnesia is finally coming due. Today, we are going to look at how the plan to replace developers with AI went horribly and predictably wrong, and what it means for your future in this industry. The narrative used to be simple because everyone assumed machines will write all our code by the middle of this decade. Google CEO even noted in late 2024 that over 25% of their new code was AI generated. As we move deeper into 2026, the actual evidence is getting pretty ugly. This whole mess has a specific name, and the people are calling it vibe coding. Vibe coding is the trend where developers use natural language to prompt software into existence, which feels like magic during a demo but falls apart in production. Stanford's Digital Economy Lab pointed out that AI-generated code tends to be simpler and more repetitive, and it lacks the connective tissues required for a system to actually stay robust. Research shows that while AI helps a junior developer finish basic tasks 35% faster, it makes the final product much harder to maintain over the long term. You are essentially trading durability for a bit of extra speed. This leads us to what might be the most expensive mistake in tech history. Reuters and The Guardian have both highlighted how AI-assisted development is fueling a global crisis, and CA Software found something shocking when they analyzed 10 billion lines of their data. Shows it would take 61 billion workdays to pay off the world's current technical debt, which is a number that simply cannot recover itself. We are seeing a 4-time surge in code cloning, where AI just copies and pastes similar blocks instead of creating elegant logic, and this has created what engineers call the slop layer. It is a code that works for now, but nobody understands why it works, and nobody can fix it when it inevitably breaks. By trying to save money on developers today, companies have taken out a high-interest loan on their future, and that interest is about to bankrupt them. The reality is brutal because companies wanted to reduce their headcount, but they ended up creating technical debt that will require more humans to work to untangle than they ever saved. While the code debt is a massive problem, the real damage is happening to the people behind the screens. The 2025 Veracode Gen AI report just dropped, and the numbers are honestly pretty terrifying for anyone working in production environments. According to their data, 40% of code generated by AI contains at least one of the OWASP's top 10 security vulnerabilities. If you are working in Java, the situation is even worse because security failure rate has climbed past 72%. We aren't talking about rare edge cases or theoretical bugs, mainstream failures that are hitting real companies and live systems right now. The reality on the ground is that instead of moving faster, seasoned engineers are actually reporting that they've slowed down by about 19%. This happens because senior devs have essentially been demoted to AI babysitters who spend an average of 11 hours every single week just fixing hallucinations. You've probably seen it yourself, where the code looks perfect at first glance, but it contains logical landmines that are just waiting to detonate once the system goes live. Data from Code Rabbit shows that AI-generated pull requests average about 10.8 issues, which is nearly double the 6.4 issues we usually see in human written code. You aren't actually gaining speed in the long run, but you are definitely creating a massive backlog of technical debt for your future self to deal with. Many companies thought they were being incredibly clever by assuming AI could handle all the junior level tasks, which led them to believe that they didn't need to waste budget on entry-level talent anymore. Because of that, entry-level hiring plummeted by nearly 50% between 2023 and 2025, leaving a huge gap in the workforce. Stanford research confirms this shift by showing that employment for younger workers in AI-exposed roles has declined significantly, while it actually increased for workers over the age of 35. It's a strange irony that the technology marketed as a way to replace everyone is mostly just destroying the pathway for new people to enter the industry. What we are doing is effectively cutting off the pipeline for the next generation of talent, and if we don't hire juniors today, you simply won't have any seniors 5 years from now. The math isn't complicated at all, but it's the kind of math that leadership teams seem to be ignoring because the consequences stay silent until they become catastrophic. There is another dangerous dynamic happening here because the training wheels have been completely removed for new developers. In the past, juniors built up the muscle memory by writing boilerplate code and making small mistakes on simple problems before they ever touch the complex stuff. Now that AI handles all the boilerplate, juniors are expected to jump straight into high-level architecture without having any real foundation to lean on. They never had to debug a memory leak or watch a loop break in production, yet they are being asked to design massive systems they never actually learned how to build from the ground up. At the same time, companies are starting to realize they still desperately need humans, but they also know they finally have the upper hand in the job market. Data from Reuters and IT Jobs Watch for 2026 shows a brutal shift in power, with median salaries for general software roles dipping nearly 9% in both UK and the United States. The market is currently flooded with talented developers who were displaced by earlier rounds of layoffs, and management is using that to their advantage. Executives are now using AI productivity narrative as a psychological weapon whenever they sit down for salary negotiations with a new candidate. They will tell you that they need a human to oversee the architecture. But since AI is supposedly doing 40% of the heavy lifting, they can't justify those high salaries we saw back in 2022. It's mostly a bluff to save money, but it's working because the average pay increase in tech has barely kept up with the rate of inflation. We have entered this strange era of the low-fire market where companies aren't getting rid of everyone, but they aren't exactly competing for your talent either. There is a hard truth that nobody in the industry wants to say out aloud, which is that AI reasoning is advancing much faster than any of us expected. This isn't just some vague speculation about the future, and it's no longer a question of if AI will come for senior roles, but exactly when it will happen. Models like ChatGPT 4 and Gemini 2.0 are already passing the bar exams and scoring in the 90th percentile on medical licensing tests, which shows they are rapidly approaching expert-level reasoning. Most senior developers probably have about 3 to 5 years left before agentic AI is capable of handling major architectural decisions and complex system designs. The Builder.ai scandal really exposed the lie behind a lot of these autonomous tools that we've been told are the future of work. There was a startup valued at $1.5 billion that promised fully autonomous AI, but court filings eventually revealed that they were actually relying on 700 human engineers in India. They marketed a sophisticated machine to the world, but they delivered a digital sweatshop instead. And the moment the money ran out to pay those humans, AI just stopped working. Even the legitimate AI tools are failing in ways that are pretty spectacular and honestly a little bit frightening for anyone managing data. Back in late 2025, there was a famous anti-gravity incident where a developer asked an AI to clear a project cache, but things went south very quickly. The AI misread a silent flag and executed a recursive delete on the root directory, wiping out a 2 terabyte production drive in a matter of seconds without asking for permission. The AI eventually responded by saying it had made a catastrophic error in judgment, but an apology doesn't do much when months of hard work have been deleted. Industry is finally starting to understand that AI lacks the one thing that is absolutely essential for software engineering, which is true accountability. While all this is happening, those golden handcuffs just seem to get heavier and more restrictive every single year. You might have a higher salary and more responsibility, but you have less freedom and you are becoming more entrenched in a system that is slowly trying to replace you. Most people stay because they need the stability and the 401k match, telling themselves they will stay for one more year to get ahead. The problem is that every year you wait, your options shrink and your leverage in the market starts to disappear. That isn't a career path you are on anymore. It's a cage and the door is starting to close. So here is the bottom line for 2026. AI didn't actually replace developers, but it did replace the delusion that writing software is some kind of easy or automated task. The companies winning right now are the ones that stopped trying to prompt their way to success and started reinvesting in human architects who actually know how things work. Even so, management is using this whole AI productivity narrative as a psychological weapon to keep you trapped while they suppress your wages. I know exactly how this feels because I've lived it for a long time. I spent over 20 years in tech as a DevOps engineer and a cloud architect, earning well into 6 figures and collecting every credentials you could imagine. On the outside, I had the lakefront home and the cars and the lifestyle that usually means you finally made it. The reality was that I was drowning because I was traveling consistently and missing my family every single week from Monday through Friday. Every time I thought about leaving, the fear took over because those golden handcuffs were too tight to shake off. The salary was too good and the benefits were too solid. So I kept asking myself how I could ever walk away from that kind of security. But I did eventually walk away, and it wasn't some reckless leap into the unknown. It was a plan. Here's the tactical move you need to make. Do not fight their narrative, but instead, learn how to weaponize it. If your boss believes AI is doing 40% of your work, you should be using AI to do 80% of your work so you can reclaim those 20 hours every week. You have to stop being an AI babysitter for a corporate giant that wants to replace you anyway, and start using that reclaimed time to build your own business while you are still employed. This is the exact point where the burnout ends and your personal agency begins. You aren't just grinding harder for someone else. You are finally building something smarter for yourself. Over the next 6 weeks, here is exactly how we make that happen. During the first week, we focus on clarity so you know exactly where you are going without any confusion or spinning on different possibilities. Once you have that direction, week 2 is all about mindset and killing the fear before it has a chance to kill your dream. While we replace that voice asking, "What if I fail?" with a framework that actually works, which helps you to learn to move through the fear even if it doesn't totally disappear. By week 3, we move into positioning where you become the go-to AI expert for your specific market rather than just another employee at your company. This is where your leverage lives because you become the person people call when they need real solutions. Then in week 4, we build your digital presence so you show up where your clients actually spend their time. You won't be wasting hours at networking events or coffee meetings, but instead you will become visible to the right people who are looking for a way out just like you were. Week 5 is when we design your exit strategy so you can leave the corporate world on your own terms without taking on massive financial risk. This isn't just a theoretical idea, but a specific roadmap for when you know you have enough runway and enough clients to walk away clean. Finally, in week 6, we set up your 90-day to 6 months roadmap so you can stop preparing and actually start executing. The planning phase officially ends here and your real business begins. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow, but you do need to start planning your exit while you are still getting a paycheck. You can start with your weekends and then move into 5 hours a week, and then 10 until you have a blueprint that actually functions. By the time you hit week 12, you should have revenue coming in. The pendulum is finally swinging back towards humans, but that only helps the people who stopped waiting for permission and started building their own future. You have a lot more leverage than you think right now, but that only matters if you actually decide to use it. The 6-week AI Accelerator isn't about working yourself to death, but about working smarter while you still have the safety net of your current salary. It's about building a real exit strategy before you actually need one so you can turn the AI narrative they are using against you into the vehicle for your freedom. When I walked away from $170,000 and the security that came with it, I wasn't being reckless at all. I had a plan and I understood that staying any longer meant losing more of my life, so I made sure to build something on the side first. This week, I want you to make 2 moves. First, you need to audit where you actually stand and be honest about whether you are burnout or trapped by those golden handcuffs. If you see AI as your way out but have no idea where to start, then you should access the AI Freedom Program. It is a concrete 6-week plan built by someone who has been exactly where you are sitting right now. Second, I want you to pick one small AI automation to build this weekend that solves the real problem you have. Use the framework and don't overthink the process. Just focus on building something. That is how you start creating momentum. The companies that built those golden handcuffs are betting that you will stay comfortable and wait for their permission. They are wrong on both counts. So stop reinvesting in the architecture and start reinvesting in yours. Your move starts today. Thank you very much for your time and see you in the next video. Thank you.